The GHS Reporter set out to find more information on the retirement of Ms. Walsh-Hampton, a principal at Guilderland Elementary School. We also have more on your regular sports and headline news. That's all coming up next on the GHS Reporter. Good morning, welcome to the GHS Reporter. I'm Paige Taylor.
And I'm Brendan Phillips.
With the recent news of Miss Walsh-Hampton retiring, a principal at Guilderland Elementary School, the GHS Reporter got the chance to interview her along with other GHS students. More on this topic. The GHS Reporter's very own Samuel Gorenstein has the story.
Do you remember Mrs. Walsh-Hampton as your principal at your time in Guilderland Elementary School?
I definitely do.
Yes, I do. Yeah, I remember her.
I do. She was the principal since I got there in kindergarten to all the way through 5th grade.
Former students of Guilderland Elementary School no doubt have memories of Mrs. Walsh-Hampton as principal. During their K through 5 years, she was a frequent presence around the school grounds. That's why news that she's retiring at the end of this year came as a surprise to so many. We, the Reporter, recently got some time to talk with Mrs. Walsh-Hampton about her career and future plans. How long have you been in education?
I've been in education 38 years.
And how much of that time was at Guilderland Elementary?
Guilderland Elementary as principal, 14 years. And Guilderland as a district, I've been here 33 years.
Why are you deciding to retire at the end of this year?
It was a hard decision. It was a really hard decision. I began to think about it last spring, and I love being a principal, and I'm going to really miss much of what I do. But I'm at a point in my life where I want some time to do some other things. You know, I've always wanted to get involved in educational research, and it's something that takes time, and I can't do that, you know, if I'm a principal. But there's a lot happening in education right now. There's a lot going on with the testing, and, you know, I'd like to get more involved, finding out, you know, are all the things we're working on as far as moving towards, you know, working on the standards, looking at the assessments, how are those affecting how kids learn? So, in order to do that, I need some time. So, and I'd like to do some traveling. I have 2 new granddaughters who are, 6 weeks and 2 years. So I want to have the flexibility to visit them when I want to. So my ideal job would be to be involved in action research, where I could work on a project, maybe 3-4 months, and then have time to figure out what I want to do with the rest of that time. And I'd like to write. I've always wanted to write. I had drafted a novel before I went into administration when I had more time. And I want to look at it again, see if I still like it. And if I like it, I'll work on revision. If I don't like it, maybe I'll start over. I'll start something different.
Are there any things that you think you'll miss a lot about Guilderland Elementary?
I'm really, really going to miss all the relationships. I'm going to miss, walking down the hall and seeing all the kids, knowing who they are, chatting with them. I'm going to miss my professional relationships. I've hired most of the teachers here and worked with them for a long time. And those are important conversations, which it'll never be the same conversations again. I can still continue to do my work on education. I can still continue to think about questions that I have. I can do my own reading. I can do my own research. But I won't be able to do it with this group of people again. So that's the part that's the hardest for me.
Is there advice that you would like to give to future generations of Guilderland Elementary staff and students?
Learn from each other. I think that's the most important thing that we can do in education, is to know that you're not an island, that in order to really develop yourself and your thinking, you need someone to help you do that, and that the way you do it is through talking to other people, working on projects with other people. I'm a strong proponent of cooperative learning, having kids work in groups and try to develop thinking together, to really value each other and learn from each other.
Any advice you'd like to give to former students of Guilderland Elementary School?
I think you should work really hard. I'm a real advocate of, I find that Guilderland students are very smart. I think they learn very quickly, and they can do so much more than they think they can do. And I think it's important that stretch yourselves, challenge yourselves, and really, do the best that you can, and balance it. I think you should enjoy what you're doing, but also be the best that you can be. And I think that's what makes people happy, because you feel your own success.
And how do you feel about the fact she's retiring at the end of this year?
It's kind of sad. She was really nice.
Well, I'm happy for her because she's worked hard all these years. I mean, she was a great principal, so.
And indeed, that's how she'll be remembered. This is Sam Gorenstein for the GHS Reporter.
You ready? Let's go! Yeah. For those of you that want to know what we're all about, it's like this, y'all.
The girls varsity lacrosse team beat Kingston yesterday 19-3 in the regional finals. Danielle Tatro had 6 goals and 2 assists, and Jen Matson had 3 goals and 2 assists. Amanda Santandrea had 9 saves and goal. The girls are now in the state Final Four and will play Friday. The Boston Celtics jumped out to a 2-0 series lead in the NBA Finals with a 108-102 win over the Lakers. The Celtics were led by Paul Pierce with 28 points and Kevin Garnett with 14 rebounds. Game 3 will be in Los Angeles on Tuesday. That's all for today's announcements.
All weekend, heavy rains have been pounding down all through the Midwest, flooding towns from Iowa to Michigan and threatening Levy. So far, 5 people have been reported dead due to the heavy flooding, with others injured due to the storms. Along with flooding, lightning storms, heavy winds, and tornadoes have been popping up around the Midwest. These storms across the Midwest are part of the reason for the humidity here in the Northeast. That's it for your headlines.
And congratulations to Max Collins and his production of the How Cool Is Your School video. It was recently named a top 5 finalist.
And we'd also like to remind you that there's only 5 days of school left. Unfortunately, that's all the time that we have for today. I'm Paige Taylor.
And I'm Brendan Phillips.
Don't forget to stay tuned for your announcements.
Have a great day.